technically doing a what bothers me. I know I haven't done one of those in a long, long time, but not too much. I mean, I haven't had too many really like necessarily bad experiences to do a full like episode of what bothers me, but I am just going to tell you what's been going on in my everyday life that's been stressful. There's been a lot of stuff going on the last like couple weeks in my everyday life, and it's just all like, you ever have experiences in your life where it seems like everything bad or anything that could go wrong is just like all piling on top at once? Like, that's just what kind of happened this like last couple weeks. Just so much has been going on. So I just thought I'd talk about it. So one of the first things that happened was my family got new furniture. Now, you would think that sounds like a good thing. And usually it is, and technically it still is. But it's a bad thing because, obviously we had to get rid of our old furniture because our old furniture was crap, to be honest with you. It was just terrible. It was all ripped up and falling apart, and it was just old. So my mom has been for a long time wanting to raise money and getting new living room furniture and her bedroom furniture. So finally my parents raised the money and they recently got it. And I'm really happy for them. I really am. It actually is very, very nice furniture. But you never realize how much of a process certain things like this are until you actually have to deal with said process. Like, I knew going in, okay, this is going to be a lot of work, because not only did we get new furniture, but my mom had the brilliant idea, and I definitely agreed with her, that she wanted to repaint the living room. Now, the paint needed to be redone anyway, because for the longest time it's been like a gray color, so now with the newer furniture, which is a brown, she wanted to go more with like the warmer tones to match with the furniture, and it needed to be redone anyway, so she figured kill two birds with one stone. So we did that. So the painting was okay. Like, it took us a little while to put up the tape, because my house is very weirdly shaped. Okay, I don't know if I'll ever do a exposure of what my house looks like outside of my room. Maybe I'll talk to my family about that. Like, maybe one day I'll give you a house tour if everything's clean, but obviously nothing is clean right now because of this process. So we put up the tape and we started going in, and originally I did like the color, and I still do, but like, I guess we didn't realize how much paint we needed, because we didn't put white on top to cover the old paint and then start the new, because it was too much of a pain. So we just put the new paint on top. And so obviously that required a couple coats. So that took a while. And then some of the details, because my house is weirdly shaped, took a while. Like, there's a lot of like tight corners, and there's a lot of like creases, and there's my house is weird. So, that took a while, and just the repainting and then letting it dry. I actually got my friends Mary and Carla, who you've seen on this channel, to come in and help paint, and they were a huge help. Honestly, I still can't thank them enough. They were fantastic, because honestly, I'm not saying that the process wouldn't have gotten done, but I definitely think the painting and the moving of furniture, because we did that too while they were over, I think it would have taken us God knows how long. I think it would have taken us weeks, even months to get done, just because. So they were definitely a huge help of moving stuff, taking stuff apart, throwing it away, that whole process that needed to be done. Because we had a lot of junk furniture that we had to toss or break to get rid of it because it was too big to lug down the stairs. And it was just a whole bunch of stuff. So, you would think that's now, oh, all the old furniture is gone. You got new furniture. You should be happy, right? It doesn't stop there. So, shortly after that, that whole process, so now everything still, and this is going on like a month already, that we've had the furniture. You can't even really appreciate it. Everybody asks me, oh, how's the new furniture? How's the new couch? And I have to tell them a million times a day. I'm like, it's nice, but I don't know how to feel about it, because it's hard to appreciate something when you can't experience it. If that makes, like, you can't, like, it's hard to be proud of, like, hey, I got new furniture, when you can't really, like, appreciate it. Because right now, as of this video, and probably for a long time, I told my mom it's probably going to be 6 months to a year before anything's back to, like, normal. There's junk everywhere from just, moving the furniture. We didn't realize how much crap we had until we did this process. My family has a lot of stuff that they didn't realize, and we are still in the process of going through a lot of that junk. So there's stuff that has to be thrown away. There's stuff that we want to see about giving to other people or donating. And it seems like that's becoming somewhat of an issue too. That's somewhat becoming a what bothers me is letting go of stuff. Personally, me, and no, I'm not in denial. I know what you're going to say. Don't say it. Okay? I don't have much stuff to get rid of. My room is freaking spotless. I don't have much crap to get rid of. I already got rid of stuff months and months ago. If I knew we were doing this, I probably would have saved it to put towards something I'm going to talk about in a few minutes. But, I already got rid of my stuff, so I don't have much to contribute. But, a lot of it is my dad's stuff. Like, he collects a lot of sports stuff, mainly Dallas Cowboys. He collects a lot of Star Wars stuff and just a bunch of, like, hats and jerseys and all that type of thing. And that's not a bad thing. If you're into something, don't get me wrong. It's fine to collect stuff. I'm a collector myself. I love movies. I like ducks, obviously. I am getting into pop figures. I have a bunch of those already. So I'm not trashing anybody who collects stuff. But my thing is, if you're a collector, have it organized. If you're a collector, just have it placed in a way where it's like, hey, here's my stuff. Like, you could probably see on my shelf right there, I have some Monster High dolls. They're away. They're on display. Like, hey, come look at it. And they're in a nice format. It's not like they're thrown just haphazardly and they're all, this way, they're all together, they're posed, and they're nice looking. That's my thing, is that, my dad has a problem of not keeping stuff together. And then just kind of, I don't know. So, yeah. So going through their stuff was a process, so that's been going on. And then recently, here comes to the main issue. As of Saturday, this previous Saturday, my family, through all the junk that we've collected, even a little bit of my stuff that I had collected over from that I was going to give to other people or just throw away or whatever, and a bunch of my mom's stuff. Like, she has really, really nice dolls, and she had, like, just a bunch of really nice stuff, and my dad has some, like, sports memorabilia, and he had some toys and collectibles from, like, his childhood that he wanted to get rid of, which is great. So, it's a bunch of that stuff. We decided to have a yard sale. And, normally this is a good thing. Last time we had one years and years ago when I was still, like, kind of little, maybe like 9 or 10. And we sold a lot of stuff. Like, people were coming in real early. Like, technically we like to have our yard sales like 9 in the morning to like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. And people were coming in like 7, 8 o'clock. Like, people were swarming our yard sale before we were even really, like, set up and open. And a lot of my mom's stuff, like the dolls and just her collectibles, were selling like hotcakes. You couldn't You couldn't keep them on the tables fast enough. And then, we sold a lot of stuff, and we made a good profit last time. Like, I asked my mom about it, and she said we made close to $200, which is really great. And we're going on vacation in a couple months. So the dream would have been to make a couple dollars and put it towards our vacation fund. Unfortunately, that's not what happened. So we had it on Saturday, and we set it all up, and it was, my mom's dolls and just a bunch of stuff that we had, just stuff, And we had decent prices, let me say, because these are high quality dolls, purses, toys, collectibles that you can't even find anymore, or just can't find for cheaper than this. If you think you can, then you're out of your mind. You just are. You can't. Like, you can't get much better than what we were asking. And when I say nobody showed up, I mean a number, maybe quality of 5 people in total. We were open from 9 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. We only made $31 in profit. I'm going to let that soak in. We had a lot of good stuff. We had a lot of toys. I even was going to sell, I had old Wii's. Like Wii sets. And I was going to sell them for a decent price. Nothing! None of the dolls, none of the sports stuff, nothing! At least nothing really worth high value. The first thing we sold, we made $2 in 3 hours. We sold a pair of motorcycle glasses we had. The goggles you wear when you ride a motorcycle to keep the bugs from getting in your face. We sold that for $2 in the first 3 hours. It's just disappointing, it's just like, you think you have good stuff, or you think you're like fair, and then you start to see these things, and you do start to question, like, why aren't people coming, especially when they came the last time. I think a lot of it was due, normally I would say we kind of live on not a dead-end road, but we kind of live in the middle of nowhere. So nobody really knows about our location because it's kind of like, not closed off, but it's kind of not a popular area to drive through, if that makes any sense. So I did attribute a lot of it to that, but it wasn't even that. My mom says, I think we just, we just chose the wrong weekend. Because, I'm probably saying this late now, it was Father's Day on Sunday. Happy Father's Day to all you fathers if you're watching this. Or tell your fathers Happy Father's Day for me, just cause. So people go away for that, to treat their dads. People go to the beach and stuff. But even that, it's June. People start to go on vacation just in general anyway. So, I think we just chose the wrong weekend. My dad either says we need to have it earlier in the year, like April or May. I think April's a little too soon. Maybe May, just because to help cancel out the rain, because it rained a lot in like April and stuff. Or we need to have it later in the year, which is when my mom thinks, like maybe closer to September. Maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe we'll have another one. But then our vacation will be over. So it's kind of like, what's the point? Yeah, we'll make money, but it's like, what's it going toward at that point? It's kind of like, and the thing that was frustrating, we didn't get rid of much. As I said, we only made $31 in profit. We didn't sell much. And unfortunately, my dad being my dad, we had to drag a bunch of stuff back into the house. And my mom didn't want that. My mom said if we didn't sell anything, she wanted to throw it away. And I know that seems useless, like, oh, we could get money for that stuff. But, like, she doesn't want the clutter. She doesn't. My mom's that type of person where it's like, hey, if it's not doing anything for me, and it's just taking up space, get rid of it. I don't want it. And I like that about her. It's not a bad thing. So my dad, they were going back and forth about that. So now there's a bunch of junk from the yard sale and just still junk from their bedroom in the living room and just scattered around the house. So nothing in our house is completely accessible. So it's just, it's a stressful time, and it's like, I know it doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but it's like, it causes a lot of mental exhaustion, let's just say that. You know, in the last couple days, personally, I've been feeling well today, thank God, but like 2 days before this, my stomach and my head have been kind of like, not my head really too much, but my stomach's been kind of bothering me, so I think I might be coming down with something, who knows, unless it's a constant change of weather. But the main reason why I don't want to bring the yard sale up was because the main thing I really wanted to talk about, other than that stuff, even though that other stuff seemed like the main point of this video, was because we were out in the sun all day, because, you know, we barely made a sale, and me being a stubborn person as I am, and I didn't want to hear my dad complain saying, oh, I'm outside and I'm not complaining, or are you, is I got sunburn, which obviously is not fun if you've ever gotten sunburn. And personally, I mean, I've had sunburn before, but you know, it seems like this is the worst sunburn I've had in a long time. You know, I usually do get a little sunburn, but this one seems like bad. Like last year, I didn't get any sunburn. I actually really got tan, which is really rare for me because I never tan because I'm so white. But I actually got a few tones darker. But this year, I just burned to a crisp. Like, I'm so red. I don't know if you could see it on camera. I'm like red here, and my nose is a little bit red. Like, look at my shoulders. Like, they're so, like, look at that. That's bad. Like, that's not normal, okay? Like, I mean, I've had bad sunburn before, but like I said, this one seems really bad. Like, when I touch certain stuff or when I move certain ways, it's bad. And, you know, my skin has always been really, really sensitive, but I'd say my sensitivity to things like bruises, cuts, burns, I feel like it's intensified the last like 6 months to a year or so. Like, I've always been clumsy, I've always been sensitive, but the last like year or so, it's been really, really bad. Like, you can't see because of the camera, and I don't want to pan down, but you know, I'm covered in like bruises just from everyday life. And sometimes I don't know where they come from. Honestly, I don't. Like, I have bruises on my like thighs and on my knees and on my, you know, I don't know. And my dad will look at me, or my mom will be like, where did you get that? I'm like, I have no idea. Honestly, I don't. The littlest bumps can cause me a bruise. My mom says we probably, me and her, because she bruises easily too, somewhat might suffer from an iron deficiency, which might be the issue. But I think, like, this last, like, year or so, I think it's just been really bad. And so I think that's why maybe this sunburn seems worse than other sunburns I've had, because maybe of the intensity of sensitivity in my skin. So from now on, I'm probably gonna use like lots of sunblock whenever I go out in the sun and stuff like that. But it's just like, you know, yeah, I don't know. Like, it doesn't seem like that much of a, like, you know, it feels worse than probably than you can see. And in person, it's a lot more red. It's gotten a little better. Like, I've been putting some aloe and some cold cream and all that type of stuff. And it has been helping a tiny bit, but I think it's just gonna take a long process for my skin to heal because it's so sensitive. Like, when I bruise or when I scratch, it takes a while. It takes longer than the average to heal, which probably isn't normal, which probably means I should probably take multivitamins or do something. But I'm definitely gonna start to maybe take better care of myself, both my skin and just my body in general. I said the other day to my mom, I'm gonna start like doing like exercises just to better myself. Not necessarily to lose weight. If I lose weight, great, but just to even just make sure I stay healthy, because my family does suffer from a lot of health issues. And not only that, but it's just like, they also, during all this process too, you know, a few years ago, their air conditioner in their bedroom broke. So they've been dealing with that for a long time. So my dad borrowed for the last couple of years. A long time ago, he borrowed I used to have, before the air conditioner I have in my room currently, I had a fan that, you plugged in and you turn on, and it brought in basically like an air conditioner, but it was a fan and it was all plastic and all, it was kind of kid friendly, I guess. So my dad borrowed that for the last couple of years, and I told him, don't let it sit in the window when it rains, because then the water can get through and it damages the motor and it'll break. Guess what, everybody? That's exactly what he did. And it broke, and it took us forever to find a new one. And then he has a new one now, and he was using that for the last couple of years until they could afford the new air conditioner. So they recently, too, as of this weekend or whatever, they also got a new air conditioner. And that was a process and a half. It took 3 men, because it's not a typical air conditioner that goes in the window. I mean, it can. Technically, it's supposed to, but they didn't. See, the way my mom and dad's bedroom was built, it was custom made. So they had an where the old air conditioner, it was a hole in the wall. So that's where they wanted to put the new one. So that was a process. So they had to go around, like they had to take the old one out, mess with the frame of the outer cage, and then they had to put the new one in. And it took 3 men with this process, because it's a big, huge air conditioner. Like, it's bigger than the typical, because it's meant to power this entire room. Like, it's meant to keep the entire room cool. So that's why it took a while, but it was just, oh my god, the instructions and the process, and everybody was driving me and my mom nuts, because nobody knew, it seemed like, how to install this freaking air conditioner. And I'm thinking to myself, again, I don't have any, construction experience or whatever, but it couldn't have been as difficult as they were making it. But yet again, it seemed like the house and the old air conditioner weren't being easy as you think it was, because again, they had to move around the old one and see if the new one fit. And the worst thing was the measuring of this damn thing was taking forever. How long does it take to measure an air conditioner? And you had to do 3 men to do it? Women, do not be afraid to go into handy work, construction, plumber, anything with handyman, or anything with construction or anything like that, please, because it seems like we need more women behind this type of thing, because men, obviously, as stereotypical as they say, oh yeah, I'm the man, I can do it, they have no freaking idea. Okay, so that took a while. So they finally got the air conditioner in, and that was another thing that they had to do. So yeah, and the worst part, I was kind of happy about this. When they got their furniture delivered, I wasn't even here. I was upstate with my cousin in New York, because for my birthday, she got me tickets to the Impractical Jokers show. If you don't know what the Impractical Jokers are, they are 4 friends from middle school or high school that do a TV show on True TV, and they do pranks on people and a bunch of different stuff. So we got a show, and we went to go see them in a casino up by her. So that was really cool. So I was away, so they had to deal with the stress, and I was so happy. I didn't want to deal with the BS. But even now, we're still dealing with filing and putting stuff where it should be. We're getting furniture sorted and stuff needing to, I'm going to be giving my mom my hope chest in my room to even help with more stuff, and I'm going to be see about some moving furniture around in my room. So yeah, that should be fun. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to let you know what's been going on with me, because I didn't really have anything prepared, I guess. I didn't really have anything to eat, and it is raining, so I didn't really have time to go to the store and pick something up. And I don't know, I just didn't want to do another gaming video, at least not right now. And even if I wanted to, who knows if it would work because of the rain. So I figured I'd just do somewhat of another what bothers me, or just letting you guys know of what's going on in my everyday life. But that wraps up this video. If you have any suggestions of what you want to see me talk about, write it down in the comments, like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye!